Hello students, myself Niyati Chauhan, Assistant Professor at LG Institute of Engineering and Technology. In today's session, I explain wastewater level measurement techniques. So, in today's session, I explain infrared technique, microwave radar technique, weight load cell technique. So, let's start today's session. First, infrared technique. The sensor contains an infrared light emitter or light emitting diode. Here in infrared technique, we are using as a sensor infrared LED. Okay, and sometime also use infrared light emitter. Okay, so we can use infrared LED as a sensor. Light emitting diode LED and a photocell receiver. Okay, so here photocell is also work as a sensor. Light is transmitted across a gap to the receiver. Here light is transmitted. Okay, so you can see this is sluice blanket. Okay, so that means one type of liquid which was filled up. So light is transmitted across a gap to the receiver. Okay, so this is work as a receiver. So in this gap light is transmitted. In infrared technique, as the sensor is lowered into the clarified sludge blanket, the instrument will indicate a gradual decrease in opacity. Means if here we are using clean water, right? So we can get reading very clearly, right? Means here क्लैरिफाइड स्लूज मीन्स जो गंदा जो कादव है, राइट? सो वो कादव हम यहाँ पे कम करेंगे. सो जो सेंसर थ्रू जो हम रीडिंग सेंस करेंगे तो इंस्ट्रूमेंट में भी उसकी ओपेसिटी है वो डिक्रीज हो जाएगी. ओपेसिटी मतलब कि जो क्लियर नहीं है वो डिक्रीज हो जाएगा. Some models just detect the point where infrared light is not received by the photocell and provide indication to the operator. Means कोई इंस्ट्रूमेंट में जो इंफ्रारेड लाइट है वो लेवल ही जस्ट सेंस करते हैं. ओके, पर यहाँ पे ये जो थियोरी है उसमें फोटोसेल हमने लगाया है. सो फोटोसेल थ्रू हम यहाँ पे जो लाइट्स है वो हम रिसीव करेंगे. द केबल suspending the infrared probe is normally marked off in feet or centimeters. Means here you can see cable is connected, right? So in this cable we will mark centimeter and feet. Okay, so we can get level of the liquid. Next, microwave radar. So in this technique we are using microwaves, right? Modern radar instruments consist of an antenna inside the tank and remote mounted electronics. अभी जो स्टैंडर्ड जो इंस्ट्रूमेंट निकले हैं तो उसमें हम यहाँ पे जो एंटीना है वो इनबिल्ट ही रखते हैं टैंक में. ओके. सो मॉडर्न रडार इंस्ट्रूमेंट में ये चीज अवेलेबल है. दे वर्क बाय transmitting high frequency microwave signals that reflect off the liquid surface and are returned to a receive, much like ultrasonic use sound echo. Means here a microwave radar, uh, it work by transmitting high frequency microwave signals, and it reflected on liquid, right? And after reflecting, it returned to the receiver, right? So much like ultrasonic use sound echoes. मतलब कि यहाँ पे हम जब सिग्नल ट्रांसमिट एंड रिसीव करेंगे तब यहाँ पे अल्ट्रासोनिक साउंड एज ए यूज होगा, राइट? जैसे पड़घा, राइट? जब कोई बोलता है तो पीछे आवाज आती है, ऐसा साउंड यहाँ पे क्रिएट होगा. Microwave radar signals travel at the speed of light. So the reflected signal is returned in just nanosecond from relatively nearby target in a tank level application. माइक्रोवेव रडार सिग्नल्स है, उसकी स्पीड लाइट की स्पीड के ऊपर डिपेंड होती है. when these signals are reflected, right? So these signals return in receiver within nanosecond. Okay. The instrument's timing circuitry has to have very high resolution to be able to measure level accurately. Means उसका resolution high है, so we can measure level accurately. Radar signals can also be transmitted through a probe or wire suspended in the tank. Means radar signals can also be transmitted through probe or wire. You can see here radar probe is used. So we can also for transmitting use probe or wire. This technique permit measurement in confined spaces where non-contacting antenna-based system might have signals reflected off abstraction such as laders, agitators or mixture. Okay. So in this tech, ये जो टेक्निक है वो लिमिटेड स्पेसिस के लिए अवेलेबल है. लाइक where non-contacting antenna based system used, so uh, it can be measured liquid form of ladders, mixture, right, agitators. Okay. मीन्स कोई भी लिक्विड में अगर रैंडमली कोई पार्टिकल्स मूवमेंट कर रहे हैं, कोई मिक्सचर है, सो वी कैन मेजर लेवल बाय यूजिंग माइक्रोवेव रडार टेक्निक. नेक्स्ट, वेट और लोड सेल टेक्निक. वेट मीटर्स इंक्लूड one or more load cell that deliver an electrical output proportionate to the force or weight exerted on them. Means here we are using weight meter, right? So we are using here one or more load cell, right? So we are using load cell here. So load cell load cell deliver its electrical output, okay? And here electrical output proportional to the force, right? या तो weight of tank, okay? Weight meters or scales are common in wastewater treatment plant laboratories, but are also used for chemical level measurement in the treatment process. Weight meter or scale we are commonly used in waste water technique, and also we can use chemical level measurement technique. In this diagram you can see uh, this is our load cell, and on load cell chlorine gas cylinder mounted, okay? So this type of load cells we are using for measurement of level. The weight of the empty vessels must be deducted or read from the final weight reading to determine the weight of the tank content. Means here empty vessel, right? So weight of empty vessel must be deducted, right? And then after we measure final weight reading. So initial weight and final weight, through we can determine the weight of tank content. Installation of load cells require rising the vessel, and so this method is not practical for large tank or wastewater process basins. Means this method we can't use in large tank and wastewater process basin. Load cells and weight meter systems are also relatively expensive, and so are normally limited to specific applications in wastewater treatment. Load cell and weight meter is very expensive. So for normal measurement of liquid, we can't use this technique, right? So here give some examples. Chlorine and cylinder level, right? For specific application we are using weight or load cell technique, right? So in this chapter remaining two techniques are point level flows and conductance, okay? Then after our chapter 2 is completed, and in first exam there are two chapters, chapter 1 and chapter 2, and after chapter 2 we have a completed 50% syllabus, right? One topic of chapter 2 I have not explained, okay? So after first exam I will explain this topic, okay? If you have any query then you can ask me. Thank you for listening me.